Imagine the scenario. You've done a degree in business or art or whatever at university, and you've learned a lot of concepts actually to later use in your job and your day-to-day. Then you've got a new job, you start with your first assignment, and it does not use all the tools and all the techniques that you've learned in your studies, right? So years goes on and years goes on, and you forget a lot of the tools that you've learned back then. And when the time comes, you don't even remember to use the tools that you've learned back then. This is why I want to propose today to you to have a conceptual toolbox in which you save all those tools, all those concepts that you learn over the years, and then when times come, you can go through this toolbox to apply whatever you need for the job. This is like the analogy: for a man with only a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. So we don't want to have more nails or make problem nails. We actually want to expand our toolbox to have way more tools than just a hammer. Hey everybody, my name is Stefan, and on this channel I'll talk about stuff I use, gadgets I love, and everything that makes my life easier. Making my life easier is a conceptual toolbox that allows me, if I tackle a new problem, to actually just go through my toolbox, see what can I use, and grab a few tools and do the job. And this is what I want to help you today to get also. So let's start with the question, what is this toolbox? The toolbox can be of shape of multiple sizes. For me, it's in my OneNote. For you, it could be in your physical notebook, it could be in your Apple Notes, it could be in your Notion, it could be anywhere basically. And this toolbox is a living collection. You don't build it once and then forget it. You rather maintain it, update it when you stumble across something, and imagine if you need to fix something in your home, you grab your toolbox, you look inside, you figure out which tools you need, because often enough you have a rough idea of the tools, but maybe not all of the tools. You grab all the tools that you need, you fix the problem, you do the job, you put them back, and you're ready to go for the next time. This is your conceptual toolbox. But why do we need one? Because you will say, I know how to do my job, I know how to get things done. And this is true. The conceptual toolbox is a tool to systematically help you think outside of the box. So when I usually go in and do a project, have, I don't know, some kind of responsibility at work, for example, I tend to do what I always do, because we all tend to, be in the same habits a little bit. And I don't often think about how I could do this differently. What else could I apply in a given moment to actually just be better? And this toolbox helps me to grab ideas that are not just from work. That could be a concept from sports, from gaming, from, I don't know, art or whatever. And I'm just scrolling through my toolbox and see what could I apply, and reflecting on this, thinking about how I could make use of these stuffs that I see. And this allows me to be very creative and think in multiple dimensions and layers instead of being just very straightforward. This cross-disciplinary use of the tools that you've learned and gathered over the years is also especially worthwhile to do, because usually your memory fades a little bit. You've learned it once, used it for maybe a month or two, but 3 years from now, you maybe not think about actually doing the stuff again at a way different occasion. So by doing this, you allow yourself to use what you've already used in the past and to combine what you may not see really works together at first, but might be a good fit in the end. Creating this toolbox is really simple, and I'll walk you through how you can do this. And afterwards, we'll even do it together in a very brief way, just to let you know how it could work. You basically need to have 4 steps in order to create your personal conceptual toolbox. Step 1, you need to decide on a note-taking app of your choice. I personally use OneNote because I like using OneNote. mainly because it's on my phone as well. I can have it on my Mac, I can have it on my Windows, so I can have OneNote on all the platforms that I like to use. But you could use whatever Tools app you have at your disposal right now. In case your Note app allows for folders and subfolders, create a folder for your toolbox because we will have loads of notes inside of those. And after you have this set up, we can move on to step number 2. And this is our first brain dump, where you just create empty notes with only a title with all the concepts that you learned a few years ago when you studied or whatever. Here, we basically want to establish tools, like you put in a toolbox, right? The metaphorical hammer, the axe, and whatever you put in your toolbox, these we want to put in here. It could be a tool like a SWOT analysis, like an APC analysis, for example. It could be like an how-to on, how to do negotiations, for example. Everything that you think you have a method to do, this is a tool for you, and this tool should live in your toolbox. So just create an empty note and move on. It does not have to be complete, because as it is a living document, it will probably never be really complete in the very end, right? So just start with them at maybe 5 or 10, and whenever you come across something that you think, oh, that should actually live in my toolbox, grab your phone if you're on the go to your PC if you're at home or at work or wherever, and add another tool to your toolbox. The more tools you have in your toolbox, the better. As you continue to add tools along the way, as this is a living document, you're actually already deep in step 3. Step 3 is not only to capture new tools as you go, it's also to expand on them a little bit. So this could be tools that you would not usually see fit in your toolbox. And whenever there's something that you think, oh, that might fit in a certain way, or if I twist it to make it work somehow, it might be worthwhile to add a few lines inside the notes beside the title now, to really explain to yourself when you're coming back to this note, to this tool, in maybe a month or year's time, why you put it in and how it can help you in a certain situation or a certain way. This allows you now, when you come back, to know how to use the tool. It's like a manual, basically, how to use the tool. And this manual is necessary for step 4. When you have your next project that is starting, or you have a big task that you want to complete, a project at home or whatever it is, where you might need one of your conceptual tools, go through Toolbox, scroll through it, and just think about it. Take maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, how long you might need to just go through one, and think about each tool, how it could basically fit in all the task that you're doing right now. And as time moves on, you will see that there are actually a few concepts that in some way would work in your scenario, and you could apply these to your work. For example, it could be gaming one for resource management in some simulator or anything, where I think, oh, if applied like this could actually solve something in my work. I need to make it work somehow, because work is not a game, of course, but having just this concept in place and in your head allows you to work through a problem that you would have tackled otherwise if you would not have this conceptual toolbox at hand. Okay, so we're now here on my Mac, and I'll walk you through how I create a personal conceptual toolbox inside of Evernote. I choose Evernote because I don't use Evernote right now, so I have no real notes inside of this. So it's actually a great way for me to demonstrate you how to do it from scratch. What I've already done. I've created here on the left side a new notebook called Conceptual Toolbox. I think we can also, we can do together. We can just go in here, say new notebook, call it Conceptual Toolbox, and create it. And now we have this new empty notebook, which we can now start to fill with all the tools that we would usually use. So let's add just a few to get just a rough idea on how that could work. Let's maybe start with a new node, and we call this node SWOT analysis, right? Strengths and weaknesses. We can do a few more nodes now. We could do maybe Eisenhower matrix. This is like the prioritization thing that you learn in university somehow. We can, why does it say? Why doesn't it say Eisenhower matrix? No, there we go. Then we could do a few nodes more. Let's maybe say agile way of working. We do Scrum. We do SAFe. We do 2-week sprints. And we maybe change the view to this very small view, because we'll have loads of tools inside our toolbox now. So let's maybe go on. Let's add a few more. Let's do project. Let's do risk management. Let's do stakeholder management. And maybe let's do one more just to round it up. Let's do, I don't know, PDCA. Plan, do, check, act. So we have a few nodes in here. We have like 4, 8, 9 nodes in here now. And this is already shaping up pretty nicely. We could add more and more. And inside of each node, I have the opportunity to actually write way more in here. I could do pictures, I can do links, I can do descriptions. I have all the possibilities to make it my own and to tell myself why it might make sense to actually have these tools in here. And you might now think, well, to be honest, to have Scrum, SAFe, Agile and everything, these are all the same. And I agree. And that's not quite the point, just to have all the bullet points of knowledge and skills you might have inside of this. What's way more important if you do it this way is that if I come across a customer project, for example now, and I can think about all the things that I have in my conceptual toolbox. So for example, let's maybe just add to drive the example home, mission, vision, right? And now I can go through the project when I'm working there and think about, okay, what do we have and what are we perhaps missing in order to just be better? And I would go through there, okay, we're doing SAFe, we're doing Agile, we're doing sprints, we have some sort of risk management in place, could be better, but well, stakeholder management, now we actually ironically don't work with that much of stakeholders. Mission and vision. Oh yeah, our team does not have a real mission or vision. Maybe I should work on this to get this in place as well. So it's also a little bit of a checklist to know which tools to use in your project, but not limiting yourself to certain projects. You have all the tools in one place and you decide what you use and what you won't use. So this is the real power of the conceptual toolbox. And I created this now in, I don't know, probably 3 minutes or something like this. But imagine you take some time and you really write out a few techniques that you're using and stuff and quality gates and everything that you think could benefit your work also in the future. And you expand on this month after month after month. And after a few months or even years, you have such a deep wealth of tools at your disposal whenever you need it. So when you are at a situation and know, oh, I need to do a good job, you can basically just go inside your toolbox, figure out what you need for a certain situation, grab these 5 or 10 tools that you need and get the job done. And this is a real power of the conceptual toolbox. In conclusion, The Conceptual Toolbox gives you an arsenal of tools at your disposal for you to get every and each job done that you're confronted with. It's not about remembering all of these or having them in your mind. It's way more knowing where to look in order to get all the tools that you need. So let me know, do you use something like this already? And if not, are you intrigued to try? Or have you tried? Let me know as well in the comments. If you like this video, maybe you like a few other ones from me. These two are actually recommended to you from YouTube, so maybe one of these works or doesn't. You decide. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and talk to you in the next video. Goodbye.